Welcome to our Orb Composer tutorial series, brought to you by Hexachords. I am Benjamin, Creative Director for the Music Factory, and in this episode we will be showing you how to make indie pop rock music using Orb Composer version 1.1. This tutorial will assume that you've already set up your DAW template and mapped and loaded all VST or instrument sample libraries. If you're not sure how to do this, you can visit www.orb-composer.com/manuals and download a Getting Started guide. So to begin with, in this episode I wanted to make some sort of indie pop/rock feeling music, kind of a slow rock with a bit of an upbeat drums. So we're going to open up our pop rock template, and as you can see we get piano, guitar, synth, bass guitar, bass drum 1, acoustic snare, closed hi-hat, and crash cymbal. However, as many of you will recall, Orb Composer does not write for percussion instruments right now, so we're simply going to take those out. Now we're going to start setting up our template. First I'm going to change my key signature to F minor and my BPM to 96. Then I'm going to start dragging in my intros and my other blocks, my theme blocks, and my ending block as well. In this case I'm going to be using 5 blocks, 2 intro blocks, which you'll see why in a minute, as well as 2 theme blocks and a 1-bar ending. Next, we're going to set up the length of our bars, or blocks, I should say. In this case, we're going to start with a 2-bar intro, a 4-bar melodic intro, an 8-bar theme, an 8-bar intense theme, and a 1-bar outro. Then I'm going to go ahead and generate some music using this first button here to create instruments and notes. Then I'm going to delete my very first intro, which, again, you'll see why towards the end of this video. And let's hear what Orb Composer has to say. So that was interesting, and I think the first thing you'll notice is that the bass guitar is way too high-pitched. So what I'm going to do is actually change the bass guitar on all of those to change the register from high or medium to low, which is actually going to be a little bit too low, but we'll come back to that. And I'm going to do this for all of the blocks. As you can see now, I'm actually tinkering with my synthesizer to give it a little bit more complex rhythm, that kind of thing. Also kind of experimenting with different high pitch, low pitch, medium pitch synthesizer sounds, just to see what sounds good. I think I preferred the original register that it was in, but you'll see here that I do change it quite a bit back and forth just to get an idea of it. And I also changed the complexity and momentum to be much higher, average and very high for the momentum. So now we get sort of that nice plucky background that I kind of was looking for. Definitely prefer that in the lower register. I also liked it better with 2-note polyphony instead of 3. can actually hear just how low that bass ends up going just with changing it from medium to low, which is, to me, I think it's actually skipping 2 octaves there. So at this point, I've changed quite a few things within the tinkering of the piano as well as the guitar. On the piano, I actually added a bit more momentum and complexity to give the melody a bit more going on, which you'll see here. But I also wanted to change some of my chords. Now, I did actually change these chords a couple of times, but these are the chords I did decide to settle on. So we open nice and slow. I like that pulsing bass underneath. Yeah, that clicking sound you're hearing is actually being caused by all the reverb that I have on some of these instruments, so I actually need to turn that down before we can get to post-editing. But you will get to hear the final version of this as well. So after I hit the record button and added in all the MIDI into my actual DAW, I decided I wanted to do a little bit more to it. And one thing I wanted to do is add another underscoring pad to the plucking sound that we have. And the way I'm doing that is actually incorrect here. What I should be doing is actually copying this down to the next track below. So I'm actually going to just do this to the A section, and then the B section will be just the plucking pad, or the plucking sound, sorry. But also, as you'll see below, I have 2 drums, drum lines there, or drum tracks. And these are actually imported from Splice, which you can, if you're not familiar with Splice, they have a lot of variety of royalty-free sounds and instruments and things that you can use to kind of fill in the gaps in your composition. For instance, if you need sound effects or full drum loops, they have all that, and you can use those in your compositions. So that's exactly what I've done here to try and shorten the time on this, because I am not a drum programmer either. I can do percussion, I can do orchestral music, that's my expertise. So I decided to let somebody else who knew what they were doing provide the underscoring drum loops. So thank you, Splice.com, for that one. Hopefully you found this video helpful. To get your copy of Orb Composer software, visit www.orb-composer.com. Here you can download your free, fully functioning demo or purchase the artist or pro versions of our softwares.